Hello, everybody. So I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk about Silicon Valley Bank. I'm tired too. I'm stressed. A lot of these companies may get hurt. We may hear more tonight. About many innovation companies. SVB was a bank that was dealing with innovation. So a lot of my stocks are in innovation, and even if like the money that is at SVB, even if they may get back, I don't know, 50 cents on the dollar, maybe less, maybe a tad more, like that's still a process that's going to take months unless there is a white knight that comes and helps out with SVB and takes over SVB. Actually, Elon Musk suggested that he might buy it. And, then it's like, what does it do to Tesla stock price? Anyways, the point is, this is the most important event of 2023 and 2022 when it comes to this Fed-induced crisis. And of course, many, if not most, innovation stocks right now are releasing their 8Ks, notifying us whether there is something material or not. And so I'm going to go over 5 stocks. 3 I have covered on the channel. 2 I intend to cover. So let me begin with HIMS. As you know, HIMS is one of my favorite stocks right now. It's actually close to my third largest position after Tesla and Enphase. I bought more HIMS this afternoon actually, without knowing that, just because I just trust the management, and I had not heard the rumor saying that HIMS banked with SVB. When you looked at the 10K, they only talked about an old lean when they IPO'd with Oaktree. So that's why I never believed that HIMS had anything with SVB. We've learned today that they have nothing with SVB, or at least nothing material, not materially impacted. And so don't forget, like CEOs, they have a fiduciary duty. Like if it was important, if it was, I don't know, 5%, more than 5%, they would need to tell us. And so if the CEO tells us not to worry about that, we should not worry about that. That's his fiduciary duty. CEOs have that fiduciary duty. They can get in deep trouble, if they don't follow the fiduciary duty. They go to jail sometimes. So it's highly trustworthy, and I trust Dudem. If you follow Dudem, that he's a inspiring leader. Anyways, the point is, the stock is down. It's crazy. After hours, $8.70. This is cheaper. This is so cheap, especially when we know how good Q4 was, and so I'm buying the stock. I'm buying more HIMS. They are not impacted by the SVB situation. Okay, let me move on to SoFi. So SoFi, very clear too. SoFi, we have no assets at SVB. Only our only exposure is very small lending facility of $40 million. So nothing to them. SoFi doubled down today. The CEO actually bought $5 million worth of stock, right? More than $5.5 million worth of stock. So, we always say, they typically buy only for one reason, because the stock is cheap. SoFi is actually down almost 30% from its outstanding Q4 and from the jump that it had after outstanding Q4. This is a pattern for SoFi, though. It's like the market forgets how good this company is, and every 3 months it remembers for like 2 weeks, and then it forgets. Very important for SoFi. SoFi is a bank, so we may wonder, is the risk of contagion credible for SoFi? So I went into the 10K, and it's not. I have wonderful news. It's not. Actually, if you read the footnote said that this is immaterial in the footnote of the 10K. By the way, this is in thousands of dollars. So the unrealized loss of SoFi on its ABS and its mortgage-backed securities, that loss is not even $1 million. It's $900,000 loss, and the total loss on all of the bonds is $8.6 million out of more than $200 million initial cost. So this is nothing for a company like SoFi. They're down $8 million on the debt securities. They will just own them to maturity. and there is no. I mean, it's not even funny. I mean, they have nothing. If you compare to Silicon Valley Bank and what they had, granted, Silicon Valley Bank was a much bigger bank, but I mean, Silicon Valley Bank was like, two orders, what am I talking about? More than two, like 3 orders of magnitude more than that. They had something like 90 billion in investments. We have 200 million, so it's insane. I think SoFi is perfectly safe. Well, not investment advice, of course, but that's my opinion. One thing that I'll note for SoFi is that as customers flee banks because they may get worried about those mortgage-backed securities, and there's a lot of buzz on the internet. I mean, I see all of the main banks trending right now. We have to ask yourself, are you getting compensated for that risk, right? Are you getting compensated for the counterparty risk, right? Because you're giving your money to a bank, and you have to be sure that they'll be able to pay back. And so this is Bank of America, right? If you have a deposit with Bank of America, the APY is 0.01. If you have it with SoFi, it's 3.75. So I believe as customers move money around, if we are to see big shifts in where customers bank, they will move to SoFi is the way I look at it, because you are compensated for that risk, and a lot of neobanks compensate you for the risk, for that counterparty risk, that major banks don't compensate you, despite the fact that major banks, for some of the bigger ones, have hundreds of billions of mortgage-backed securities, which have dropped tremendously since the Fed has been tightening. All right, so HIMS and SoFi, no impact. Great companies. The stocks to me are opportunities right now. Now let's talk about a poor company, and I feel so bad for Roku. I mean, Roku has $487 million. And so what if they get back 50 cents on the dollar or 40 cents on the dollar? I mean, that's a huge loss. That's a $250 million loss. Like that would be a huge loss. And even then, we won't know for a while unless there's somebody taking over SVB, which would be obviously the best way to go. But 26% of the cash reserves of Roku are in Silicon Valley Bank. So this hurts. There's no way around it. And I feel really bad for SoFi because it's like I'm all about capitalism and it's fair game to lose money when you compete, right? But this is money that is not lost from competition. This is money that is lost because of a bank run, because of of that counterparty risk that I always keep talking about. I think in the future there will be a way for companies to own their cash without counterparty risk. I mean, think about the cost to a company like Roku. So this is maybe going to impact Cathie Wood because her ETFs have major positions in Roku. Again, terrible. But the market, noteworthy here, the market is only down 3%. So what that tells me is that even though it's a big loss, the operations of Roku are not impacted, A, and then B, the market probably is pricing in that they'll get back a bunch of that money through a bailout, and that's my working hypothesis, that there'll be a bailout. That's what I think, a lot of what the market is pricing in right here. All right, let's talk about the last two companies, which I have not covered on the channel, but I want to cover on the channel as soon as I have more times. So one of them is Roblox. I'll do a deep dive on Roblox. I believe Roblox is serious investing into where the world is headed and where culture is headed. Metaverse play, right? Cathie Wood is also somewhat impacted because Cathie Wood owns Roblox in her ETFs, and that's $150 million that they have stuck that they can't access at Silicon Valley Bank right now. So the company functions normally, but 5% of cash, right? That sucks, but nothing life-threatening for this company. And then Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is another company that I want to cover. Gosh, I don't have enough time. I really want to cover Rocket Lab. 7.9%. And, I believe this actually hurts for a company like Rocket Lab because, this is their R&D money, right? Rocket Lab needs that money. They are developing an expensive product. And so $38 million for a tiny company like Rocket Lab, that is something. And so, we'll see what happens with the receiver. We'll see what goes with the proceeding. We'll see how soon these companies can access their money again. But if there is no company to take over SVB, if there is no intervention, this, in my view, could take multiple months, and could also be an overhang on the stocks. So this was my last video on SVB for the day. I have just reached 1,000 subscribers on my channel. So tomorrow, I hope to make maybe a channel introduction video, because this was my goal, creating this channel. And when I created this channel, I said, I'm going to commit to it for 1 year. And if I get 1,000 subscribers in 1 year, that will have been a success and not a waste of time. And I have reached 1,000 subscribers in actually just a tad under 4 months. Let's round it up and say in 4 months. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm about to celebrate tonight. I'm very, very grateful. You know, this took me a little bit of time to do these videos, and so thank you so much for watching. Didn't mean to bore you with Silicon Valley Bank, but this is so important right now. So I want to talk about this. I'm gonna talk about it a little more, but tomorrow I'll try to do more positive videos. You know, the past 2 days have been crazy in the market, absolutely crazy. So thank you so much. You know. No investment advice, of course, just entertainment. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I appreciate your likes, and really I'm so grateful for 1,000 subscribers. This is amazing. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.